Alright, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be discussing 2D motion and how vectors can be broken up into their x and y components and how to add 2D vectors. So when you are given a vector that is in 2 dimensions, such as a vector like this, we can break up this vector into its x and y components. So there will be an x component like this and a y component like that, and some angle here. So when we're drawing this vector, if we say this vector is vector v, we usually denote this x component as v sub x and this component as v sub y. So how can we solve for v sub x, v sub y given this vector and this angle? So to do this, it's really just using some basic trigonometry. So if we have a triangle here, a right triangle, and we have, we'll call this side B, A, and C, we know that if this is our angle, cosine of this angle is equal to the adjacent over hypotenuse, so it'll be B over C, and sine of this angle is equal to the opposite over hypotenuse, which is A over C. And tangent of this angle is equal to opposite over adjacent. So using this idea, we can solve for these vectors as if this was sides of a triangle. So vector v sub x will be equal to, so in this case, this is what v sub x is. So if we multiply this c to the other side to solve for b, we would get c, which is the hypotenuse, which is just the total vector v, times the cosine of theta. And similarly, if we wanted to find vector v sub y, we would have to multiply the total vector magnitude, in this case, times sine of theta. And these would be the magnitudes because we're taking the direction away from this vector and breaking it up into one-dimensional components. And then if we were given the components but wanted to find the angle, using this over here, we could say that the angle theta is equal to v sub y, or not v sub y. It would be equal to the inverse tangent, or arctan, of the opposite, which is v sub y, over v sub x. And then one last thing is, if we wanted to find v, the magnitude of v given these components, we can use the Pythagorean theorem just as a squared plus b squared equals c squared over here. We can find v squared equals vx squared plus vy squared. So if we wanted to solve for v, we could just take the square root of vx squared plus vy squared. So that's how we can break up a vector in 2D and get its one-dimensional components. And this will be useful when doing problems since we can only analyze vectors in one dimension. Alright, so let's do an example here. So we need to find what is the magnitude and direction of velocity if the velocity is 15 meters per second up and 20 meters per second to the right, and what is the angle with the ground. So if we go ahead and draw this out, we see that first the velocity is, well, we'll draw the horizontal component first, so it's 20 meters per second to the right. So we can draw this like this, and this will be 20 meters per second, and then it's 15 meters per second up. So this will be 15 meters per second. So this resultant vector going from the beginning of the first one to the tip of the last one is this velocity vector that we're trying to find. And so we need to find the magnitude and the direction. So as we derived in the formula, we know that v equals the square root of vx squared plus vy squared. And that just comes from Pythagorean theorem. So this equals the vx, and this equals the vy. So we can just plug in these values here and get v equals the square root of 20 squared plus 15 squared, so that our magnitude of v, and sometimes when we're writing a magnitude of a vector, we will draw these bars on the outside, so that this magnitude will be 25 meters per second. And so if we wanted to give this a direction, we would need to know the angle, but we could also say like up and to the right. But since we're just finding the magnitude here, we don't really need this direction. But we also are asked to find the angle, so we're trying to find this angle with the ground. So again, using the formula before, we know that the theta will be the inverse tangent of Vy over Vx, and we're given both of those values, so we can go ahead and plug those in. So that'll be 15 over 20, and that'll equal 36.9 degrees. And that's 36.9 degrees above the ground in this case, or above the horizontal. Alright, so now let's talk about adding 2D vectors. So all of our vector addition we've done before has been in one dimension, where we had, say, like one vector going this way, and then we add it here, and then we add it here. But we always add starting from the tip of the last vector and going and drawing the vector off of that, off of the tip of the last vector. So we're going to use that same idea when adding 2D vectors. So let's just draw out a 2D vector example. So let's say we had a vector like this, or let me draw this better. Let's say we had a vector coming up like this, and then we added another vector to it coming like this. The resultant vector would be from the start of the first vector to the tip of the last vector. So this would be our resultant vector right here. And so when we want to find our resultant vector, we can just add up both of the x components of these two and the y components of these two. So if we call this like v1 and v2, we can get the x component of 1, the x component of 2, the y component of 1, and the y component of 2. And we now just made the components of this resultant vector. So if I draw this without all this stuff around it, we'll have the resultant vector here, and the x component and the y component. That's very wiggly. And the y component here. And this just equals the v1x plus the v2x, and this is just the v1y plus the v2y. And that's how we can solve for our resultant vector using those equations before. So let's do a couple adding examples. Alright, so the first example here, we have these two vectors and we need to add them. So what we can do is start by drawing the first vector. So we see that we'll do these graphically first and then also show how we can do it algebraically. So we see that it goes up 1 and over to the right 3. And then the second vector goes up 2 and over 2, like this. So after drawing those two vectors, all we have to do is find the start from 1 to the end of the last one. And then now we've just made our new segment. So we have this segment of 3 and this segment of 2. This is 1 and this is 2. So now we found our components, and we can go ahead and find the magnitude of this resulting vector using the formula from before, where v equals, and I'll just use v for vector in this case. So if we wanted to find our vector in the x direction, it'll just be this 3 plus 2, and then our velocity in the y direction is just 1 plus 2, and we can plug these in and get 5 squared plus 3 squared, and that'll equal 5.83. And that's our magnitude of this resultant velocity vector, or vector. Alright, so let's do another example. So now we have them moving in a bunch of different directions. So we'll follow the same steps. So we'll give the start point like right here. And so we first have just a 2 unit vector right here. And then it goes up 1 and over 4 to the right. So we can draw that in. And then it goes down 3 and over 2. So it'll go down to here, right? Okay, so our resultant vector will then just be the start to the finish. Like this here. So this is our resultant vector. So now, if we're doing this on like a graph paper here, we could just count the blocks from this resultant vector, and that's it. And we would have it down 2 and over 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we could calculate the magnitude this way. And we can simply get this, resultant vector as the square root of 2 squared plus 4 squared. But we could also add up each component as we've done before. So we could find this Rx, which will be 2 to the left, so we'll denote as -2, plus 4 to the right, and then another 2 to the right. And we would get 4 for our x direction. And then if we wanted to find the y, we see that this is first 0. This first vector doesn't move at all in the y. And then the second vector moves up 1, and the last one goes down 3. And that's a -2. And so if I plug these in, you'll get the same values, because since this is squared and we're just worried about the magnitude, the direction won't affect anything. So if we rewrite our equation with 4 squared plus a -2 squared, you'll end up getting the same answer. And it'll come out to be around 4.47. Alright, that's all I got. Leave your questions down below, and have a good day.